Hi. Yeah. This is Videorama, and we're gonna shamalama ding dong on the ring wrong because we're talking about movies that someone called hysterically about wanting to have folks learn the wrong lesson. So, what better wrong lesson could you want to learn than bringing back your dead kids? Because that's already something you shouldn't have. And by that, I mean kids, because the world doesn't need them. We're overpopulated. Think
I don't have them.
That's right, because you're
I'm a good
progressively on
citizen.
topic.
You burn in hell, you child killer.
But I'm also one of those people that believes there should be a generated by the state, mandated, and very much needed
This is
IQ test
scary place
before you're allowed to have children.
What,
I mean,
you
that
tell
would be-
me I can't have 16 kids? Is that what you trying to tell me? You think
That
you
is
better
what
than
I
me?
and the government should be telling you. Yes.
Citified cousin? Shoot,
But-
government come up in here, tell me what to do with my kids.
Yes, and speaking of telling you what to do with your kids, we're going to be talking about Pet Sematary. Yes.
Cemetery.
Yes, and now that we have a very so-so, not really liking it remake, I can say this is now my favorite Pet Sematary.
Gee whiz. I didn't see the So-So remake, so... who the hell are you?
It's something. I don't know. I'm someone that goes down the roads that you really shouldn't go down.
You
Or
go
not.
down on roads.
Hell yeah. Mother
Randy
Nature ain't
Rhodes.
gonna love herself.
I'm a guy in short shorts with a head injury who just shows up in your bedroom.
Oh.
Oh, I thought you were going for a Tom Petty
Or Adrian.
thing. I'm a boy in short pants. My name is Linda, but yeah, I don't know.
We call you road cheese.
Call me the cheese. Road cheese.
That's right, stranger. Classic man road cheese.
Hell yeah. Ain't nobody go down on that road cheese.
My brother makes the best head cheese.
Them eyes and ligaments.
You ought not to do that.
So, for the uninitiated, Pet Sematary is a wonderful film about a family moving out into the middle of nowhere, yet somehow close enough to a town, but far enough that people don't want to visit you, on the only stretch of road that truckers do trucker speed, and there is no speed limit because those trucks go running day and night, slamming, jamming through everything that comes in sight because brakes just don't work that well on a truck.
Like Adrian.
Yes.
Slamming, jamming.
Be slamming, man.
That's why
Everything
he has
that
it on his
comes-
hot pants. It just says slamming and jamming. Right across the butt.
I was thinking the other day, why aren't there like juicy pants for men? Like those sweatpants with juicy on the ass. I guess it's juicy couture.
Yeah,
I don't normally
pretty much.
pants, it's just chaps. You know.
Maybe it's baby. But yes, this family moves out there and they're next to a road because that's where you want to raise your family when you have two little baby kids right next to the busiest road possible that everyone knows kills anything that gets caught on there. And we get Herman Munster as their wonderful neighbor who likes to tell them very cheerfully about how many animals die there all the time. Enough so
Fred
that
Gwynn.
they should have a cemetery for the kids to put their pets because they need to learn about death, even though the mom doesn't want us to learn about death.
It's a good place.
Yeah.
It's a very good.
Why should they learn that? I never did.
Oh, she
Never
definitely
mind
learned
that
it.
I
Star Trek
died.
Next Generation.
Yes, because this movie unites the stars of the first season of Star Trek The Next Generation and time tracks.
Yeah. Oh,
Midkiff the star.
Oh, yeah.
But you may recognize Fred Gwynn from his most notable role in My Cousin Vinny as the judge.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
Oh, what are you?
Or in the Cotton Club.
Or the cotton
Nothing
bud,
else.
Oh yeah, I got your watch here, Bob Hoskins. I hope that's all right.
Yeah, nobody's here that was alive to watch the Munsters unless you had time during the pandemic and decided I'm gonna rewatch this classy show.
The Munsters, I don't know what you're
my
talking
TV when I was a little boy in the 80s.
Yeah.
We did watch a lot of the Munsters, and I could talk a lot about the Munsters and how they changed.
Like over 100 VHS episodes of Dark Shadows growing up, and we could talk about that for days.
I was just thinking the other day about the time when, because they always had like the closing credits on like focused on like a part in the house, and then one day the guy who played Roger just like crossed by. He's just walking by and goes,
yeah, and so did Barnabas. He just had to freeze back there in the background, like, oh shit, you're doing the credits thing. And
yeah, and then have the random color episodes, and this green screen would be about as good as Linda.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, we live in a universe where people.
Linda on the other side of the video store.
What are you talking about? We're in a video store.
Yeah,
I don't have a green screen.
With a country music section.
So this section of the movie, or at least the whole movie, lives in a universe where everyone listens to the Ramones religiously, apparently. Because even truckers who love speeding over 90 miles an hour on road love listening to songs by the Ramones.
Every long-haul CDL driver I've ever met has just loved that Sheila is a punk rocker song. Yeah.
Now, one of the first mistakes we learn in this film that goes over really subtly, and I mean super, super subtly, is, oh my gosh, this little girl, her kitty cat named Church after Winston Churchill, is dead. Dead as can be. And old man Munster says, I don't want to upset your daughter on her birthday, so let's go reanimate your cat and go play some devil's advocate, because why not? And they reanimate Miss Pussycat. And Mr.
In the Indian burial ground.
Yeah, they bring him in. They don't bring him to a pet cemetery. They bring him to an Indian burial ground.
It's behind the pet cemetery, so maybe it should have been called behind the pet cemetery.
You have to respect Church's chosen gender identity.
Church does have some gender issues later because, as the girl says, they're getting his nuts snipped. So that was to help keep him from being so roamy, because tomcats don't want to roam when they're
okay.
He's a romantic Russian blue. You know, he's a lover, not a fighter.
I love Russian blues, but I gotta say, like, I know, like, as a cat owner, I know how, like, some cats just, they'll drive you nuts before until you let them outside. But still, like, if you have such a busy road with like a bunch of trucks going at like full speed, maybe keep your cat inside.
That would be a good idea, to keep indoor cats only. Yes.
Well,
make them scratch at the door all they want, but like if you let your cat out, you're gonna have a dead kitty. Like, I don't care if it's nuts or snipped.
Maybe also, if you're going to move 1,000 miles from Chicago to rural Maine, you should maybe like overlook the property first, check it out, be like, oh, this is a good central located near schools and stuff. Like, oh, look, semi-trucks shoot by here every 30 seconds at 90 miles an hour, and I have tiny children. This is a great idea.
See, that just now reminded me how great this would be if Nicolas Cage had played the main lead character in this. That would have been
We can
wonderful.
make it happen. Let's go to Kickstarter.
Oh yeah, they resurrect the cat, and the cat comes back rather wickedly evil. But I kind of think it's misunderstood, because there's one point where the man is taking a bath, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna relax," and the cat drops a gift for him, a dead rat, into his bathtub. I'm like, this
so
cat
nice.
gave you a gift. And it's even
the cat wasn't trying to kill him or anything. He wasn't trying to attack. He gave him a gift.
Old man Munster tells them, he's like, "Oh, that's not your daughter's cat anymore. It's yours."
That's your fucking
exactly what's
problem.
happening. The cat's like, "Hey, evil dude, it's like, here's a gift for you, meow and stuff, I guess."
Thanks for bringing me back from the dead.
But he's like, "How did you get in here? Get out of here, you fucking cat!"
Because undead kitties do not obey the laws of physics.
No, this cat, when it attacks like no cat I've ever seen, where it's like nobody totally threw this cat at him, but somebody likely did throw this cat at him when it attacks this man. It's
Whoosh.
just magical for the
Cat
time.
launch.
But yes, and accidents befall the family for the most wonderful scene I've seen in a movie in a long time, where they go out for a picnic and little Gage, the boy, is like, I'm a fly a kite now. And like, okay. And they all laugh because Gage drops the thing of string for the kite. And the father just turns around, ignoring his son by the roadside to watch his family for like 20 seconds with this I love my family look.
Life
Nothing
is
went
so
wrong
good.
the last time he ran 50 feet
Yeah.
away from me.
And then
Times
suddenly,
are so
oh my
good when they're
God,
good.
my son is dead. But
He got his
only
head knocked
until,
in by the bunker.
only until he digs him up. Oh, that truck, I'm surprised there was even a body left as fast as that
Yeah.
truck went hit that kid.
And he
There
hit the
should have been
grill. Like he didn't like it's not like he got bumped, like he got sucked
No.
in by the like or anything. He got hit, he fucking hit the grill, man.
Yeah,
And
they
then the
would have
truck
been
gets
washing
wiped
him
out,
out with
too.
a power washer out of the engine. I mean, there's
Yeah.
nothing that would have been left. Gage would have been put in like a mason jar and buried in
Yeah.
the ground.
It wouldn't have been enough to fry an egg with.
Here's your boy.
Yeah, I
Boy, this
dug
is
some of
awkward.
your boy out behind my ear when I got home. I hope it helps.
Unfortunately, the remains are stonier.
Yeah.
Well, Lois, we can rebuild them. We have the technology. It's all lethal.
Looks like a bit of his penis went inside your glass there, ma'am. Let me get that for you. But yeah, so the
His
dad
nuts got
decides I'm gonna bring my boy back because I miss my boy, and even
My
though
boy!
an evil cat came out, I'm sure a boy will be just fine. Lols.
Mhm.
So obviously the boy comes back twisted and evil, and horror ensues. People die, including his waifu, and he decides again, well, maybe the third time's a charm. And he puts his wife in the cemetery, and she comes back like, you dumb white man, and kills him. And that's Pet Sematary.
No, you don't understand. He waited too long with the cat and with Gage. You gotta get them while they're fresh, he decides.
I like it. You also missed the part where his wife Denise Crosby comes back, and she's like literally oozing out of her eye, and he makes out with her. He's like, "Oh, I gotta get some of that."
The eye juice has gone down her cheek and on her mouth. He's like, "Oh, what's this eyeball juice? The tastiest thing in the world." The thing that literally only crows like.
Nom nom, give me some.
Yeah. It's like this.
Look, I have the
possibly
weirdest
go.
erection right now.
I don't know if I'm scared or turned on. I think it's a fear boner.
That was a reshoot too, demanded by the studio. They wanted it gorier. Originally, it had like this sad, ominous ending, which might have been even good. Who knows? But they're like, no, we need it like that German movie Necromantic, where he gets a boner for a corpse with its eye gushing.
Okay, well, at first, like I'm thinking, okay, Fred Gwynn is trying to save him from having to break his daughter's heart because she's not ready to deal with death and lose her kitty cat.
Of the wrong lesson.
But then, yeah, I know. And then he's like, well, I know Fred Gwynn told me about this guy who buried his son there. And his son came back a zombie and all fucked up, and they set him on fire and set his whole house on fire and killed the dad in the process.
And everybody died, yeah.
But I'm going to be different. And I can understand that because, like at that point, it's just grief. It's just sheer grief. And like, we'll never know the pain of, a parent losing a child. But I can understand that sheer grief overcoming any logic. But then after that, and after having to literally put his son down because he's come back a murderous demon like the cat, then his next thought is, I'm going to put my wife in there. Like, then I was just like, no, you're just a stone cold fucking dum-dum.
Well, and he didn't just get warned by Fred Gwynn either, because he also had the ghost warning him beforehand multiple times. Like,
yes.
Like, Lewis, are you dumb?
Tax cow.
You fucking dumb. I'm from beyond the grave, motherfucker. I tried to save you. I tried to save you. It's like, you're not even listening to me right now. This is embarrassing.
Okay, yeah, listeners, if you're never gonna watch it, he's the doctor of a college now, and this kid comes in, and he says later that he was pretty much dead when he came in. He tries to save him, and I don't think they even explained what happened to him, did they?
No, they do.
They
The first
said,
thing they say was he was hit by a truck.
Oh,
When
that's it.
they have the awkward afterthought slow motion on his head being all ripped open.
Ah.
Yeah.
I think he was running track with the school or something and got hit, but
Don't
But
go
yeah,
to Maine.
so-
You get killed by a semi truck.
he tries to save this kid, but he can't. And the kid comes to him in a dream that night. Actually, no. Actually, right after he dies, he
There's not even a
starts
scene in
falling.
between. It's right away.
yeah, he gets up and he says something like the soil is rotten.
Ground is sour.
Yeah, that's
Don't
it.
taste it. It's gross.
It's totally gross.
Yeah.
It's expired.
Right.
Um,
Ovaltine.
so
Throw
yeah, he
this
says
away.
that, and then furthermore, he appears to him in a dream that night and like takes him to the Micmac cemetery, and
That
says, basically says, don't do it, dude. Like, you see this? Don't do it.
That thing over there, it's evil. We're not going to show it, but there's a Wendigo. Yeah, don't go there.
Yeah, exactly. And then Lewis is like, this is scary. Oh no, I just want to wake up. And then he wakes up with fucking dirt caking his bare feet and in the bed, and he's like, that's weird. I'm just gonna wash the sheets now.
Yeah, like, oh, I guess
Wait,
my
no.
wife must have taken a shit at the foot of the bed again.
I guess I had
It's
a
like
mud
being married to
accident.
Amber Heard.
No, that's the thing. He's an asshole. He doesn't even wash the sheets himself. He chucks
Oh.
them down the laundry
Oh,
chute
that's
for the lady they
right.
have come in to wash. And she'll get
Yeah.
later like, stomach sure hurts. I'm a crusty down Easter. Mud in the bed. That's weird.
Yeah, my stomach hurts. It'll pass. I should have met a doctor, but I couldn't find one. That's why I'm still single.
It's
Ain't
the
nothing
cancer.
for it. No need to
Sorry.
exercise. You're just gonna die.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, that character had no fucking point in. I'm sure she did in the book, but no
Yeah.
fucking point
She
in this
also-
movie.
She might have had a point in the original edit of the film too, because Paramount's
Yeah.
like, this movie's long. We want it really short.
Yeah,
They
which
should have just
speaking
cut her out
of-
completely.
Yeah, which
The movie
speaking of,
does feel like it's got some-
they were gonna mention the movie The Wendigo, but they felt that there was already too much going on and didn't want to confuse people. But it's like there are points where you can tell there's something out there, because when
Yeah.
Fred Gwynn brings him out to the forest with the cat, he trips because something spooks him, and you hear like a screech out in the distance, and he's like, "Oh, that's just a loon." And it's like,
just a
no,
loon.
it's like there's a reason he looked like he didn't believe what the fuck he was saying when he said that,
Yeah.
because it was supposed to be the Wendigo, which I give credit for the remake doing, is they actually brought
Yeah.
up the Wendigo, and it does play a pretty big part in the book because it does pop up a few times.
Yeah.
But there's
Well,
a lot that they didn't really put in that they should have in the movie, because they didn't really explain it too much with the cat, because they just wanted that to be kind of, oh, the cat came back and it's evil.
The very
but
next
with-
day.
But with Gage, there's in their house, the sister has a portrait that was painted that had like her and also one of her sister that haunts her dreams.
Oh.
And if you pay attention to it, the outfit that Gage is wearing when he comes back is exactly what the sister was wearing in that picture. Because the whole
Oh.
idea was supposed to be that the sister came back through Gage, and that's why he killed the mom. It's
But
why they,
instead, they ended up having it like a weird painting in
Yeah.
her parents' house,
yes. So
and
it's-
like they
it's
keep
kind of-
showing it.
Yeah, it's like something that they originally were going to explain a little bit more about, but instead, like, no, we'll just fuck it. It's like, we need to make the mom sister super scary, and that'll be enough for people to get that, and then fuck the rest of everything. Especially the whole thing with Oh, Old Man Munster, which really did fuck us up as kids because that gave me a healthy fear to always have shit under my bed so no one can hide there and cut my Achilles tendon. Because they show it and holy fuck, is it really gnarly?
Yeah, this is another one you guys saw as kids. I actually saw this when I was 20. I was actually at a family reunion in upstate New York. I was at my aunt's house with my brother and sister, and I think one of our cousins. And our aunt's like, "Oh, you guys want to watch a movie? Let's put on Pet Sematary." And we're like, "Oh, well, we never saw that." And I got to the part about Tasha Yar there talking about her sister, and I'm like, "What the fuck does this have to do with anything?"
Is this talking about your Romulan sister?
It's like I'm doing something else. Fuck this. Yeah,
well, like
we should mention that this is one of those few Stephen King movies where the script was by Stephen King.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also.
And also, more funny, he did not actually want to release this book because he thought that this was really not so much shit as he just didn't like it, and he still kind of doesn't. Because he was really depressed when he wrote this, and to him it just comes off as this is the most there is no hope, there's no worth trying anything because we all die in the end stories, and he doesn't like that kind of message.
You just have to accept the pain and
that's
grief
the
of life.
lesson.
It's like the only reason it got published was because his last publisher, his original one, he was leaving them for a new publishing house, and they said, "Hey, we need one more book from you." He's like, Fine,
fuck
here.
you.
Yeah, even his
I
wife
did a
is
line
like,
off this manuscript. Here, take it.
Even his wife is like, well, I mean, it's good. It's shit, but it's good. It's like, all right, fuck it. Let's give it to him, pay me, and move on. And then people are like, oh my god, it's the most amazing, scary fucking story ever. It's like, oh, as intended.
And I remember from it's been a while since I've seen the documentary. But
oh yeah, there's a full-fledged movie documentary on this.
Yeah,
too.
it's really actually interesting. Yeah, it's a good watch. But I remember them saying that one of the headstones in there had their cat's name on it.
Yes.
That's why the dead speak.
There's actually
over there, the dead walk.
If you look in there, because the old man mentions it, there is a gravestone also for Cujo, because he mentions how a dog was buried there that when it came back killed like several people. And there's like a lot of Stephen King stuff, and I know he probably did it on purpose. There's a lot of stuff tied to his other stories in there. Like when the wife is driving back home, one of the signs saying what's in this direction and that direction is Jerusalem's Lot. I was like,
it's new.
Yeah, a lot of authors do that. They'll do self-referential things since it's a lot easier just to have a universe and have
very few authors get to the point Stephen King did of I'm gonna put my actual self in the novel for no reason.
I was gonna
just
say,
like Ayn Rand.
I mean, like
the Dark Tower series is a wondrous thing.
Sorry if we spoiled it.
You didn't spoil it because I weren't never going to read or watch.
I was just going to give the heads up. But the Dark Tower is like, it's a great read. And then you get up to the one that's like, okay, we're just going to focus on the younger years and Shemi. And like, it's like, what? No, what? And then it just gets batshit crazy. And you're like, what, Harry Potter, Stephen King, what is happening?
Yeah, eventually it starts straying into Wheel of Time territory, and then he decided he didn't want this turning into the Dune series, so he did end it finally. But
yeah, took a while, but it's like toward the end of it, I was listening to the audiobooks, and I was just like, because I had that commute, so I listened to the older or the ones later in the series by audiobook, and I was just like, wait, what?
Yeah, that did just happen.
Like, did I just do so many drugs that I didn't know I did so many drugs? What is happening?
Yeah,
it's possible.
But I'm glad Stephen King wrote this because there is a lot. This is kind of what I love and hate between this and the remake. Is the remake does have a lot more subtext story in it that was in the novel, and this one takes a lot of that out, but it does include a lot more fucked up things from the novel, which I really wish the remake had the balls to do. like showing the wonderful scene of the father losing it to his father-in-law and knocking over the casket and Gage's
That
body
was
comes
awesome.
That's what I do every time I go to a funeral. Is I start screaming really loud, knock over the casket, and blame
You have
somebody
no
for the death.
right.
I actually thought you started fights by saying if you look close enough, you can see her nipples.
Do you see that? They did a great job. Look at those things. Yeah. I mean, it's cold in here, but damn.
You can hardly notice the cum stains on her cheeks. It's beautiful.
I'm sorry, is that your grandma?
Was that
Some
your
people do
papa?
wedding crashing. I do funeral crashing.
Your Meemaw.
Oh.
Your Meemaw. I see saw your Meemaw.
Your dead grandma was my waifu.
I took her for one more ride.
There's a show, I think it's called I Think You Should Leave, and they had this like skit on about like where it's a show that just like a television show that just shows bodies falling out of caskets. And it's like America's Funniest Home Videos.
Obviously.
Whoa! Boing.
This is a compilation of nut punches to corpses.
And then they have special episodes that are naked corpses falling out, and the bottom falling out of coffins. It was really good, but it made me think of that. But this is, of course, the way that they end up having to do it is just another one of those. You know, I hate to be the PC police, but it is kind of like a fucking offensive that it's like, it's an Indian burial ground, so bad things are gonna happen.
In Europe, if you reach for an ancient horror, you could be like, oh yeah, no, there was some ancient druids or some Celts or something or some Gauls. In America, if you want some really old horror, that's what you're gonna go to.
Yeah, and it's one of those also in fairness, it's nothing to do with just insensitivity. It's just literally people were not using the term Native American for Native Americans a lot back then.
I had somebody call down to the desk last night and use the I word.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Indigenous.
Yes, that indigenous, exactly. Yes. No, I think they were referring to my Korean boss, and they're like, "Yeah, she was an Indian or a Mexican or something." And I'm like, we don't have such a person working here.
Yeah.
People are a treasure. And that's
Yeah,
why you enjoy them over again.
Certain phone company, I used to get people on the phone that would say, "I'd like to speak to a white person."
Wait,
that's what we used to have all the time.
They said that in words?
Yeah.
I did call center work for 7 years, and I never had anybody put it on the nose like that.
I had a lot of those from Nextel too, and we were always told just be ready for that. It's like they didn't want us. They said you could fake accents because if you do, you have to carry it through the whole conversation.
That's what we were told too. Yeah.
But they also told us you shouldn't do accents because you will have people that specifically will say, "I want to talk to an American," or "Yes, I want to talk to a white person."
Yeah.
And that's why they kept telling us how important our jobs are, because if we do our jobs horribly, then Nextel will take the jobs overseas, and people in Pakistan, India, and such
what they did anyway.
Yeah, they were not very subtle about their intentions.
That's really cute how they just openly threaten you with that.
My favorite moment was when somebody called and she was just being a bitch because I was trying to collect money for her being late for a bill, you know, and that's like, dude, this is my job. Like, it's not like I want to, but she said something like, I want to speak to somebody who speaks English good. And then
that's when you say, "Me too."
I said on the way, like, I transferred her and I said, "Okay, I'm going to get you on the line with someone who speaks English well." And then she was like, "Well, what?" I was like eat a dick.
You know, every now and then your finger could just kind of slip, you know, like, "Oh, you know what? I hit the wrong key and I hung up on them. I don't know how that happened."
I may have done that where I purposely ignored someone and said, "I'm sorry, I can't hear you, sir, so I'm going to terminate this call." And they're screaming like, "You can hear me, you bastard!" Like, I have to terminate because I can't hear you anymore.
I may have done that too.
But the fucking worst I've ever had happen and my team laughed at me for was a woman saying she is going to put a curse on me, that she has gypsy blood in her family and they're putting a curse on me because I wouldn't take away their new phone activation fees. Like the company told them they would at the business they went and did so. Oh, yeah.
I'm a level 99 mage. You are so dead right now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we could keep going, but
Well,
I guess
we could,
I
but
better
We need to
pull
talk
myself
more
back.
about dead children coming back to
Yeah.
life.
but
Something
mostly
more
children
cheerful.
getting dead. That's the real payoff.
Yeah.
Getting
Which, I mean,
smashed
honestly,
by 18-wheeler trucks, you know.
Yeah. When I reread the book, well, actually listened to the book, I did the audiobook again before Linda, me, your husband, and
Joni
went and saw the remake. And yeah, the book really is pretty goddamn dire. It's just really, really more fucked up.
I haven't read it yet,
The
but
show's
it's
growing
on my
on.
list. I think
Yeah.
it's actually next to my
It's
bed.
really worth it because the ending, I actually wish they kind of stuck with the ending from the book, because like most Stephen King stuff, it's left a little more ominous as to what happens. Like they
Just
get to the
tell me.
house and they're like, oh my god,
Oh.
this old man is here and he's dead. And
Can you
also
just
Dave
signal
is
to me
dead.
when you're finished with the ending? Because I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll like wait. I'll give you the subtle signal. You'll know.
And we'll be at the end of the episode.
Well, it's
you take
Stephen
your ears
King,
off.
so it's like Return of the King, right? There's like 9 epilogues, you know.
No,
It's like
instead, it's like what happens is they have the whole massacre at the house, and a policeman is talking about how he sees a figure leaving the house with a shape, an odd oblong shape wrapped in a white sheet, headed off mumbling into the woods about how maybe it'll be different, maybe things will go a certain way, and accepting his fate, and he just wanders off carrying the body. But the policeman's like, oh, I don't know what this thing is. It could be a body, could not be. I'm kind of a country bumpkin. And yeah.
just looking to get reelected. I don't care.
Yeah. And now that Linda's not here, let's talk about her outrageous monkey costume. Like we're not supposed to notice a grown-ass 40-year-old woman is dressed in a monkey outfit.
This wasn't Casual Friday. What the?
This was not. She did not earn a gold star today to start wearing Casual Friday attire. I mean, come on. This is a video store.
I mean, I wear the same thing every day. I don't know.
Yeah, we
The
only have our
exact same
masks
shirt.
off,
It's
in
filthy.
fact, because there's no customers and we got together for this. So yeah.
She's doing that look thing.
Oh no, well, we'll just keep talking. How's your day going?
Me, I'm doing okay. The knee ain't swole up quite so big.
Oh, that's
You could tell the
good.
stall was rolling when the knee swelled up.
That's right. How did you like the movie?
I've never been a super big fan of this one or the sequel. Probably because, well, okay, so you got your gore, that's there, and that's cool and all. And you got your Doom. Doom's good. Doom's a good thing. It's really depressing. Main character is rock stupid. But it's a horror movie, so I can accept that. But I feel like between like the longer edit and like between another version of the book, maybe
Hey
it's like
there, Donnie, have you heard the word?
You're not coming back yet. I wasn't gonna sing with you yet.
She was gone.
You shouldn't have buried me.
Oh god.
But yeah,
Sometimes dead Linda's better.
The path from your bladder, Estonia.
when you do your supernatural horror movies, though, you either need like a lot of explanation or like no explanation. You know what I'm saying? Like for your scary, you either need it like in granulated detail, like get your fantasy verse like all fleshed out, or you need to have everybody going like, the fuck is happening right now?
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Yeah, even then, it's like I really believe that you need to have a set of established rules, and you need to follow those.
Yeah.
Because if not, then the horror, even if it's supernatural horror, it's like it just ruins
you
the
call me?
story. Because if
Well,
the
yeah,
horror
yeah,
starts
you're
going off
cool.
doing whatever it wants, then it's going to ruin the story. Because like, well, how can it do this now when before it couldn't do this? And it's like, because I'm spoopy.
Yeah, if it's otherwise you're just sort of showing off special effects, and that can work if you're enacting like a specific fun tone, maybe. But other than that, like if you're looking more to frighten people, it's like you gotta sort of decide what the boundaries are.
Yeah.
Like the bit where Lewis there is going to revive Gage and he's crawling past the quarry and he looks down at the pile of rocks and it like turns into a guy's face with a powdered wig and I'm like,
Yeah.
what the shit was that?
Yeah. Yeah, that was actually I think that's what I said too. Like, the fuck? Like, you could have done without that. But then, to be fair, like, okay, this is going to be an asshole thing to say, but here I go. Mary Lambert, the director, had only done music videos up till this point,
which is fine. I mean, we got a lot of good directors that way. We got David Fincher that way. Although, unfortunately, after this, she went and did the sequel.
Yeah, but also, what was it? Kubrick also did a lot of commercial work too before he got into film.
Yeah.
But that's also why it attributed to his style later on as well, of having duplicates, certain way things were shot so that it kind of drew you in. And
he also did the advertising for his own films, which is cool.
But no, we are talking about the film itself. What were your thoughts on it, Linda? Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? Why?
I enjoyed it. I mean, of course, there were some things that I would change. And I could see a bunch of parts where, like, it's probably better in the book. Like the whole, what's her character's name? Missy, like killing herself. It's just like in the movie.
Keep missing that part of the movie. Yeah.
Yeah, in the movie, it's like, oh, okay. So she killed herself. All right. I guess
not necessarily surprising in the Stephen King universe. I mean, it's like, what else fucked up could I throw in here?
But I mean, other than the kids learning about death through her killing herself, I guess it's like, it's just pointless as it is for the movie. Like,
it is, yeah.
It serves no purpose.
Yeah, because again, in the book, there's a huge debate about that, which again, I give credit to the remake for, where the dad is more about, I want to be realistic about it. This is what happens when you're dead. It's very cold and calculated, but it's real versus fantasy. And the wife did not want to address death at all, not just because of her sister, but her own idea of faith interpretation of death, going to heaven, and how as a kid you should hold on to your innocence a lot longer. Whereas the dad's like, no, the sooner we bring him to reality, the better, because he didn't want to be caught in a lie. Because in his childhood, all he had were people sweet talking him into things. And then when he learned the truth about things, he felt like, why did you lie to me? This is kind of bullshit.
Well, but that's a great topic, though. I mean,
they do kind of bring it up in the film, too, where he gets mad at his wife, where he's like, hey, if something happens when he's getting his nuts chopped off and he dies, it could happen. This is now on you because I had to promise our daughter that he was going to be okay.
You made me promise, yeah.
Yeah.
And I appreciated that part, too.
Yeah, and I'm like, shut the fuck up, Tasha Yar.
Yeah, it's like, you promised you were going to be Chief Security Officer Tasha Yar on the fucking USS Enterprise, and you decided to leave. And then when it became successful, you're like, bring me back.
I want to bang Data. That still hasn't happened yet.
And then winding up in a David A. Pryor movie. Great job.
Yeah, that was the height of her career. She was going places.
Speaking of which, did you guys know that this movie features one Sarah Trigger?
What? Sarah Trigger's in this?
She is.
In the background, out of focus, where she belongs?
She must be.
She's awful.
Oh no, I'm a liar. I'm a liar. She's in the sequel.
That makes a lot more sense. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. No, I've seen.
King, however, is in this one.
Yes. Yeah. Well, Stephen King. We should all point out, by the way, did not let them put his name on the sequel.
Yeah, but even weirdly enough, he actually says he enjoyed the sequel. He liked the script and he said he was okay with it.
Yeah.
The remake he was kind of about, but he understood why they changed what they did. It made sense.
And
A
Mary
lot of
Lambert,
critics like the sequel better.
Mary Lambert directed the sequel too.
Yeah. She's the common thread there. And Mary Lambert also wanted the little girl who was the Visions of Pex Cow to be back in the sequel as the main character. And for some reason, Paramount Pictures was all like, "What? A horror movie with a teenage girl as the main character? It'll never work."
Like that Edward Furlong fellow, he's really hot right now.
He's going places.
Well, he was hot right now, but Paramount Pictures had just produced the entire Friday the 13th series.
Yeah.
You tend to be the main characters in slasher movies? It's a fucking teenage girl, you fucking morons.
Fat, young
But it was
men.
also the early 90s when the horror genre was essentially dead.
They
in terms
neutered
of
it
mainstream.
in the 90s. That was a very hard time because you had that really generic music soundtrack through a lot of them, and the MPAA was a lot more just cut your dick off about anything in horror.
Bush era, and everything was about special effects, and nothing was serious. It was all cute.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is the one lone reason where they had to have that weird face appear. Because they're like, special effects, right?
Yeah, but again, it's like that's why it made it weird because their choices what to omit, what to keep, with the whole keeping that character in with his half-torn face as like a prophet that never gets explained why he is and who it is working through him, like why the whole family should know this guy and why it's important that he's giving them this information and that nobody listens to him through the whole thing. It's
no,
sad.
And it's like, hey, Tashi Yar, why don't you come in at the last minute? Oh, it's all going to go really badly. I probably shouldn't have helped you by.
Yeah. Well, like Adrian had said, and I agreed, it's the characters in this were very unnaturally stupid for all the wrong reasons. Like, there is not a good thought between any of these people.
I mean, it's not like they're not without their motivations, but they're really dumb.
Yeah.
Except for maybe the kids. Like the little girl's probably the smartest of them
I like
all.
the little girl though. I was like, Mommy, no, it was Pascal. He's a good ghost. Why don't anybody listen to me? You're not gonna fucking die.
Pascal, I have Mr. Gay.
Yeah, normally I hate children in movies too.
Me too.
Like children and child actors.
Yeah.
Like this kid actually did a good job at playing a kid. She didn't try to be like a little adult. Like it was
I hate to say it, but like some kids just come most kids in movies, and I think it comes a lot from Donnie and I never watching age appropriate shows and movies. But I feel like a lot of kids in movies just annoy the shit out of me because they're the cute little kid and like, I'm gonna speak like this because I'm a kid type of thing, and it's just
I'm gonna play with you, Daddy. I'm gonna cut you up with this rubber scalpel. And
okay, now that was adorable though. Like, no
slice your tendon. Whoopsie. No
and that's also probably the main reason, besides my age, that I don't have children. Because they're gonna try to kill me eventually. But yeah, she was good. I really liked her, and she seemed to be the smartest of them all because she's like, Daddy, make sure that to put Church in the basement so he doesn't get run over. It's like,
kiss my cat for me. You kiss your own cat, sweetie.
Yeah, let God kiss his own cat.
It's not God's cat, it's my cat. God's cat.
He can get his own cat.
But apparently it's something Stephen King's daughter told him when they talked about death. That was why he got half inspired for this. But he also said where he grew up, there was an actual pet cemetery near his home.
I believe it. Yeah, he imports a lot of his back in the day childhood and imprints it on modern day, and it's always so out of stuff.
That's why I still love this day The Shining, because he admits that was coming from real life, where he absolutely wanted to kill his entire family while he was on alcohol because they just wouldn't leave him the fuck alone to write. So then he decided to, while vacationing in a hotel, that he's like, hey, I think I should start writing these murderous thoughts down.
I mean, we've all been there, right?
Yeah. But before we talk with Amy or go any further, I wanted to bring up something from our childhood, which I really still remember fondly, is my bitching and complaining because I really wanted us to go see The Fly Part 2, but instead we went and saw Bambi when it was re-released. And
Wow,
as
that's
we're waiting
bullshit.
to go to the theater, I see a line of people for The Fly 2, and I'm like, oh, fuck, I want to be there. And then I saw a cardboard cutout for Hellbound, Hellraiser 2. And like, motherfuckers! I was like, the best movie ever is getting a sequel. We gotta see this Bambi shit.
Man,
But we
Hellraiser
got
2
a
is
coin,
awesome.
didn't we? Like a
Yes, we
special
did.
collector's coin.
We got a coin.
My parents would do that too. They'd take us to all the Disney reissues of all their shit. So we got
Yeah,
to see like
back
Snow
in-
White and like 101 Dalmatians in the theater.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, okay, there's I wrote down one of the lines and like, okay, I was really tired. I just woken up and Fred Gwyn's character says, "It's your cat now, Lewis."
Yeah.
And for some reason I wrote it down. It's because I was thinking like, oh, can we use that in the show?
Now, dog.
And so I have no idea why, but I wrote it down. It's your cat now, Elliot. Like, who the fuck is Elliot?
You right here. Elliot.
But there was also the line where he says that Lewis says his dad used to say, "God sees the truth but waits."
Yeah.
I wrote that down because I was trying to figure out what that means. Like, do you guys have any idea? Like, I'm being serious here. Like, with the what
this
the hell does
is
that mean?
why there's no karma or justice. God's all like, I'll get it later.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think this was like right after. Yeah, this was right after Missy killed herself.
Yeah.
So, and they were talking about like, well, you know, why did she do it and something like that. And he's like, well, God knows that, or was it God sees the truth but waits? Like,
Well, and
Wait,
I
what?
kind of hate what they did with Gwen's character because I really thought they might have done better in the remake, but they really fuck him over still because in the book his wife is alive, and it's like that's part of what bonds him with the doctor and the family is that the doctor helps save her life because she ends up having a stroke. And it kind of plays into how things go later, but it also gives reason why the wife and husband were both friends with the family. And it gives a little more insight into stuff going around town and stuff that just happens in general.
Get a shelf collapse.
The Wendigos come for Tawny.
Just don't stop.
Oh.
I gave it 350 and it came back. That was on me. That was entirely on me.
But also, I noticed that he's the most ineffective leaf raker. Like his family is gone to.
Oh, you're not liking his stewardship? Is that what you're saying?
The family's gone to his in-laws for Thanksgiving, and he's just like, shh, 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 shh. And then like,
gotta keep those there, still gonna die.
I'm like,
you know,
what the fuck is that? What was the point?
His landscaping may be boring, but if you ever want to bring a dead cat back, he's your guy.
I guess so.
Like, oh, I guess I should have told you what would happen.
Found your cat frozen to the ground.
Yeah, so Fred Gwyn's character, what the fuck? Like, I know that I had to basically kill my dog because it came back like a Cujo dog, and then that boy's son came back like a zombo that's all wanted to kill people. But hey, let's put your cat in there. Like, what's the worst that can happen?
Well, you know, he was just being neighborly, but in fact, he didn't really like them.
And then he's like, you know what, my idea of a good time? Let's go up that path there, and I'm going to show you all about death. I'm going to show you where the dogs are buried.
Rats on my front yard and then bury them in the Native American burial ground.
No, this is actually based on real events in Stephen King's youth, except they'd pull their Ford Ranchero up to the edge of the quarry and shoot beer bottles into it.
Yeah, they're going
sort of
nuts
the same
on
thing.
the Native American burial ground.
Yeah, It's like, did you know like the Iroquois were around here at one point or something? Ah, fuck it. Old Milwaukee.
There's parts, like the stony parts where like they've got boulders like up to his chest, and I'm thinking
Here.
we're supposed to believe that Fred Gwynn like pulled himself up over those like
With help.
But also
Stagehand of a man's heart, Estonia.
before we go into the details, I do want to say that today is Thanksgiving Day. Cats. But only for cats. I want to tell my cats that. So good timing on this choice, Donnie.
And meowity. And
So,
speaking of,
Oh.
Amy? Amy, what happened?
Amy, what happened?
What did you do?
What did you do, Amy?
Amy, this is serious.
Is this serious?
did you
Damn it.
carry that money up there in the
Where is it,
McMahon?
Ave? Where is my money?
bitch should
Where's
have
my
had
money, Amy?
Not
So-
go up there.
Well, this happened April 21st, 1989, and budget was $11.5 million. Gross was $57.5 million, so it was totally in the black. This here opened at number 1. Number 2 that week was Major League, knocked out of its number 1 spot by Pet Sematary, followed by Say Anything, followed by The Dream Team with the Michael Keaton,
Oh.
followed by Rain Man, followed by She's Out of Control, followed by Dolph Lundgren in Red Scorpion.
Shit, yeah.
Yeah. Which opened at number 7. It was its opening week. It's actually a pretty good movie. It's just, I guess not for all taste. Then See You in the Morning, which I didn't see at any time. Then Disorganized Crime.
Oh yeah.
And number 10 was Speed Zone. And Speed Zone, for those who don't know, is the 3rd movie in the Cannonball Run series, which has neither Burt Reynolds nor Hal Needham involved. It stars John Candy and Eugene Levy.
Oh no.
And it is the worst movie they were ever in together. It is garbage. It is just shit. If you want to read something funny and tragic, read Roger Ebert foaming at the mouth about how bad the movie is. And he's not wrong about it being bad, but what the things that set him off are unique to him. And it's like, oh, Roger Ebert, you're so stupid.
That's really
I love
unfortunate.
Christopher Nolan.
Wasn't this the same year that Ghostbusters 2 came out?
I believe so. 1989 was a loaded year. That was when we got the Tim Burton Batman.
Oh yeah.
Which for those
When he was still good.
believe otherwise, the Tim Burton Batman is the best Batman. So shut the fuck up if you believe otherwise. Yeah.
And that's the only time you're ever going to hear Adrian say the Tim Burton, insert movie here is the best.
Well, Tim Burton was really great for the first 10 years of his career. We admired him. We all looked up to him. We were proud to have him around. And then he made Mars Attacks, and it never recovered. It just got worse.
I don't know. I was okay with Mars Attacks, but I remember being in the drive-in and seeing the Planet of the Apes, and I was excited because I love Paul Giamatti, and I knew he was in there, and I just remember going,
They're going to be remaking.
Is this really
Planet of the
bad?
Apes again.
Wait, they're going to reboot it a 4th time?
Why?
It's
What?
part
The
of
last one was
maintaining
fine.
the copyright on the property, most
For
likely.
fuck's
They
sake,
wanna
just let it
go-
die.
I
They
got
want
it.
to go back to the social issues and such that were in the original.
Ah.
I think that's
It was a
more
1968
settled.
movie with Charlton Heston. It shouldn't be thought of as anything else. Ignore
Well,
the sequels.
the thing
ignore
is, that's
No, I like the reboot.
well,
Well, not Tim
spoilers
Burton's.
because this is the premise thus far from the early scripts, is that Taylor actually dies in the first part of the film, and the rest of it becomes about the woman that he would have married in the first film. So it's now
Nova.
a female.
Oh, of course,
the
you got to
Apes.
have a female protagonist. You can't not.
Yes,
have a
and
female
also
protagonist
she
ever.
has a. There's no more Dr. Zaius. It's
She has
now,
one boob?
Oh, I'm forgetting her
Oh.
name. I love the Planet of the Apes movies.
Got a
but,
little Dr. Zaius.
Zira, she's now like in a head ape position, and
Oh.
she's gonna be like the antagonist to the protagonist, and
Oh.
yeah.
Every movie's gonna be Wonder Woman now.
Yeah, and
My
I kind
little
of hate this with a lot
Dr.
of
Zaius. Hello.
I really hate this with a lot of female-led movies. Is I don't like that
Movies?
they have to have a female villain for the female lead
Oh, yeah.
actress. It's like they're
Yeah,
kind
that's
of
like how
afraid
Lifetime
of
lost
having
the
a
plot at
man,
one point.
so-
Lifetime used to be about a woman beating a man, getting one over on a man, because like the men
Yeah.
were in the position of power. And it's like, look, in this one the woman wins. And after a while, it's like, no, all women are awful. Look, here's another woman, but they're both kind of shitty.
I
What's
wasn't
the main
crazy
character?
about it, but Wonder Woman 1984, at least, I mean, they did have like the
Yeah.
female antagonist, but she was going up, like the big baddie was a dude, so
Yeah, he was more a concept than a dude.
I wish. Well, these things, the
Uh-huh.
villain's always just a concept. I mean,
no.
Loki
but-
got its own show. My life's complete now. Oh my god, you guys!
I mean, don't get me wrong, this is what a feminist looks like, but I don't like that chick crap. I just don't like with the I mean, there's some of it like I'll eat it up with a fucking spoon, like the Invisible Man and shit like that, but like I just sometimes like, and I hate to say this too, but with like Harvey Birdman with Bird Girl, the spinoff, you could just tell that nobody had like a really great idea. It was just like a fucking focus group.
Well, yeah,
and a bunch
none
of
of these
producers
things come from people who this matters to. This is all completely crass, like money oriented decision making.
Yeah, it's saying like, you know what really sells right now? Female protagonist.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why when we had a discussion on an episode that never aired because of reasons, that I enjoy feminist movies. The thing is, though, I prefer a well-written character versus just a story that says this woman is amazing and awesome at everything. You just have to accept that for no reason other than that.
Yeah.
And she never, ever is anything else but amazing. It's like,
but it has to be a character that is shown and not just told.
They can learn, they can grow. That's what makes you like the character, cheer for the character, the hero's journey. Things like that make for a better movie and story and experience. But when you're pandering to women, they're smart enough to know that. And that's why I kind of don't like how this generation is, because it's all about, as long as it's somewhat entertaining and makes you giggle, then that's enough reason to support it, because you have to support it because you're a woman and it's important to you because you're being told this. But also these things are being written by focus groups and groups of people versus competent writers. And it just feels like they want to focus more on, look at what's
also the woman credited for the screenplay might just be the one that the Writers Guild decided should get credit, by the way. Sometimes screenplays are written by in excess of 10 people.
Well, I hate it because also going on this before we end this rant, what really makes me mad, and Marvel is partially responsible for a lot of this, is how we have to treat everything as this is the first time anything like this has happened. Or it's like Wonder Woman has to be appreciated because it was written by a woman. It was directed by a woman. It's like Penny Marshall existed in the world.
Ida Lupino, Lillian Hellman. Like there's women have been doing
Martha
shit
Coolidge.
forever. You're just like only now paying attention to it. You were ignoring them before. It's your fault. Fuck you.
Yes.
Kathleen
It's all
Kennedy.
about selling and marketing their product and getting you to say, you have to see this because that makes a statement by going and seeing this. Like, no. Like, be good. Be interesting. Then I'll give you my money.
Yeah.
Well, like, there was one point in the end of the was it fuck and well, no, the Marvel series with the what do you call it, Endgame, the second part of Endgame, where like and spoiler if you haven't seen that, but I remember seeing it in the theater and like all the female characters came in and started kicking ass, and I'm like, don't give me this shit.
But
Like,
you have
I
to be
know you're
empowered
trying to
because they're
play to
doing the
me.
hero pose in a group together. And
That's
it's
like
also-
the
I can-
Wachowskis, when in the third Matrix movie, all of a
Mm.
sudden there's these badass lesbians who appear literally out of nowhere. Like, I don't think they were in the second one. I don't think they were in the first one. It's like, who the fuck is this? Why do I care? What just happened? Like, you
Like,
have to set up shit, you idiots.
I love a great female lead, like with Mad Max Fury Road. That was great. But like Donnie was saying, you have to, like, audiences can be smarter than that. So don't treat me like I'm gonna be like, oh, boobies on the screen saving the day.
Piss in your mouth and tell you it's lemonade.
yeah.
This is for me. Like, no, fuck you. Like, like, you got to work harder than that.
You don't see me going out and paying to see everything that says it's for gay people. Like, yeah. Because most of
Everybody's doing it.
it's what's cool, dog.
Now, to get back to the movie, and I've got a hot take, and I know that
Marvel's Pet Sematary.
Before you do, I just want to say something because I know our father would appreciate us doing it if he were still with us. But on the topic of Jeffrey, I remember Linda rented it so we could all watch it. And our father left the moment they said, "Oh, it broke." And they were having gay sex with toys in the beginning of the film. He's like, "All right, I'm done. I'm out."
And I was like, what?
It's good, Dad. You gotta watch it. I'm out. I'm out.
Good. It is a great movie.
Jeffrey,
It's
one
our
of the
party.
few good gay movies.
Yeah.
Yes, but he did come back for it.
There aren't any.
I was like, look, it's got the guy from Wings. What do you know?
Wings. Holy fuck.
What? Haven't seen Wings.
So what is your hot take?
Yeah, let's hear the hot take. What's the
I
hot?
know that it's a little controversial, and I know you guys don't want to get into politics, but hear me out. When I die, I don't want to be buried in a pet cemetery.
Well, neither did the Ramones.
I don't want to come back from the
They
dead.
fired Dee Dee Ramone right after that, and he had to go do that Funky Man song. They did.
Yeah.
He liked heroin a lot, but still.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Fuck you guys.
Which again,
Speaking
the
of
remake
which-
did at least also do a remix of that song too, because why not?
Yeah, I remember being happy that it was just in there at all, but unhappy that they didn't have the original. And I remember Joni and I like, I don't want to be buried, like, just happy. But there are a couple connections to Nicolas Cage in this. I just want to point out, in the
Why would
series.
that matter to us?
That actually is something even funnier too.
I
that
don't
doesn't
know.
connect with Nicolas Cage, but does connect to the film and actors. For the lead role, they actually, as their first choice, had Bruce Campbell.
Bruce fucking
as
Campbell.
wanted to play the lead. Yeah, they really wanted him for this, but for
They
some
really
reason,
should have done it.
decided to go different. And
They decided to go with Midkiff, star of Time Tracks.
yeah,
Time Tracks. Remember Time Tracks for a whole season?
choices.
Oh, choices made indeed. Yeah, you may know him from Route 666.
With Don the Dragon Wilson? No, wait, no, that's not what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, no, yeah, he was in like a bunch of shows.
On a TV, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of TV and CSI, but who hasn't been in CSI?
He was also in Nightmare Weekend, which is one of the worst 80s horror movies I have ever seen. It's really down there if you've never seen Nightmare Weekend. It was a British, Canadian, French co-production, and I think it wanted to be softcore, but then again, I don't know if it knew at all what it wanted to be. Don't ever watch it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that we were in episodes of CSI, but But where you would really know him from, without a doubt, is from his work in Air Bud 3.
Oh.
Yeah. Air Bud 3, The Rescue.
The buttoning.
The next day.
Air Bud returns from the grave. But anywho,
Donnie.
Yes, I have something interesting to share with all of you.
what would that be?
Donnie's Reviews. That's twice I've unintentionally cut you off. Oh,
I don't think you cut me off.
Oh, well, a little
I was
bit.
just saying, what would that be?
I know, and that's when we played.
That's when we played with you.
Daddy. I played with Mommy. With
We play hide and seek.
I have one dissertation I will save for the end, and this one was specifically for one of our crew members currently with us. But Stephen
Rudy?
King produced works at the reading level of Dick and Jane books. Only the simplest of simpletons would find his material good.
Shots
So,
fired.
what do you get when you take his crappy novels and turn them into movies? You wind up with a good laugh. This movie, essentially nothing more than a makeup on a pig, did a great job of showing just how horrible King's books really are.
Jeez.
Watch it for the laughs, but that's basically all it offers.
That kid slices Achilles' heel right up. That kid done died.
I'm sure they filled their bubble pipe while they were contemplating writing that sentence.
Yeah, and what about that Aries K with a scratch on the side?
Yeah.
I
What's
actually
Jericho's
really
name?
enjoyed those parts with the ghost traveler.
The rental car
That was
scene, by the
good.
way, Linda, ties in with your movie. Because you remember the line, like I have a rough life, I'm a Chrysler dealer?
Yeah.
The Aries K is one of the cars that Chrysler put out to try to get out of trouble.
Yes.
Because in the 70s, they're all like, make new cars, make catalytic converters. We're not going to do that. And they went fucking bankrupt. And they're like, Jimmy Carter, come save us. It's like, no, your management are idiots. They're stupid. I hate them. They're stupid. And they're like, fuck, we need that Lee Iacocca guy. And then after that, the Aries K came out.
I'm a Chrysler dealer. I want to go always.
Sorry, history lesson.
It's goofy, forced, predictable. I feel absolutely no attachment and sympathy for the characters. The parents can easily win the worst ones ever. They did not learn anything from the first time the kid almost got killed. I rolled my eyes multiple times. There were a few okay moments, but other than that, it's not good. Not sure why it's highly rated. My mistake for putting faith in it. And now we come to our dissertation. And oh boy.
Jinx.
These are always great.
boy.
They don't see what could go wrong.
A family with a dad, Lewis, Dale Midkin, mom, Rachel, Denise Crosby, 10-year-old Eileen, Blaze Birdall, and about 3-year-old Gage, Miko Hughes, moved to this beautiful house in Maine, seemingly unaware of the semis that roar down the highway in front of their house every 90 seconds or so. The neighbor across the way, the wonderful Fred Gwynn, makes them feel at home.
It's wonderful.
And shows them a pet cemetery where children bury their pets. But a little further on is a sacred ground which can bring the dead back to life. But the dead come back in a nasty mood.
A nasty mood. They're grumpy.
Oh,
The grumpy dead.
definite spoilers. The novel by Stephen King was good. It was long, but it developed characters and situations that made you care what happened.
Oh,
This
wait.
movie-
Are you giving book spoilers?
No.
Okay.
No. Keep your ears on.
Yeah,
Okay.
this
Papa Bear.
movie jettisons all the character
I'm a monkey,
development
you son
and
of a
just
bitch.
plays up the gore and violence. Animals are killed on camera. I know
What?
it's fake, but it's still repulsive.
They're killed on camera, you guys. They killed real animals for this movie.
A little boy is
Kinda
hit
put
by
him
a
to sleep.
semi, and his casket pops open during the funeral in
Yeah.
a totally sick scene.
That was
It's
awesome.
sick, bro.
It was sick awesome.
He's brought back to life and attacks and kills people, including his mom. I do wonder how a 3-year-old was able to hang her. A
Devil.
ghostly
Get the devil in.
jogger, don't ask, tries to help the family for no reason. The movie just works the audience over, shoving every gruesome death or violence into your face. It just goes out of its way to shock you. End spoilers.
They didn't show her death though. Like
No.
I wish that they did.
Yeah, but again, like Adrian addressed, this is when they started kind of changing these things. You didn't show a lot of the nasty stuff, but
You show like her oozing eye, but like her
Yeah.
corpses, reanimated corpses oozing eye, but you can't show her dying.
yeah.
You do get her screaming no.
Yeah.
Why does everyone always scream no? How come it's never maybe?
Maybe.
Acting is no help.
Sorry.
Midkiff is just dreadful as the father.
Hmm.
He's handsome and buff, but totally blank. Crosby
That's all I'm looking for. My.
Crosby isn't much better. The two kids are just annoying. Only Gwen single-handedly saves this picture with his effortless good acting.
Wow. Fuck the kids.
This
Oh my
picture
God.
shows a total contempt for the audience, taking large leaps in logic and having characters do incredibly stupid things, especially Midkiff at the end. This movie was, inexplicably, a huge box office hit in 1989, which led to the even worse sequel in 1992. I saw it in a
Worse,
theater
depending on
back
who you
then
talk to.
and was disturbed how the audience kept cheering on the violence and was just
Oh no, violence!
and I was
this by
just
Roger Ebert, right?
appalled by what I saw. A sick, repulsive horror film. A1 all the way. When you think it's all over and can't get worse, the Ramones sing a title song. I don't want to be buried in a pet cemetery. Truly beyond belief.
That's beyond belief, y'all.
They did not sign a signature, unfortunately.
No, they didn't even name the address of their friend who made them watch it.
I know. I really wish we had more of those, or
Yeah,
even
come on,
word from
guys.
Fart Knocker, because
Yes.
they know
Yes.
what's going on.
I actually looked up Fart Knocker and found some of his his
Oh,
reviews.
God.
And I was watching one movie that I was just like,
The fart knocker
This
likes
is-
the color.
I watched one movie on Shudder that I was just like, this is such like a self-indulgent piece of shit. And because the guy who created it, directed it, and starred in it, and it was
Oh,
just like,
nice!
and everyone's like, oh, this is such a great movie, and like I loved it so much in the 90s. And I'm just like, the fuck, man.
No, if
and
you ever
I was
wanna
just
see-
like, doesn't anybody else see the like what I see? And then
No.
there, like the light of God was Fart Knocker.
Fart knocker was there dropping the truth. But no,
Yes.
have you ever been on YouTube and looked at the comment section for
Mm-hmm.
for shit people made themselves, like movies that they made themselves? Like a lot. There's so much fucking terrible. Okay, YouTube is a wonderful platform and it's a terrible platform because you can get your shit on there, but then everybody else can too. And so you look at this fuck awful movie with this acting and these themes. There's a guy who makes fucking Christian Joker movies on there, for fuck's sake.
What?
And the comment section is always glowing praise. They're like, holy shit, look, somebody actually tried to do a thing. I never thought of doing that. It's like, yeah, he tried. Fucking failed, though.
I think
It's
I said
always
in
that way.
my review that that the Room did it better. Tell me what's so different.
Oftentimes it's true.
I mean, yeah, did.
Little bit of
But
effort.
anywho, what do you feel? Because I know that our theme this month is learning the wrong lessons. What makes you think of that when it comes to this movie, Don Don?
Well, I would say the
Oh.
idea of bringing your child back when even the man who helped you bring back your daughter's dead cat is screaming at you, don't do this. I know you're thinking of doing this. Don't do it.
A guy
And
comes
he's
back from
just
the
like,
dead to tell
me
you.
no. I'm going to say yes. It's just you're making a
Yeah.
bad choice, dog. And even so, after fighting and murdering your son, you decide, oh, I got to bring my wife back. I love her so much. And it's just you didn't learn the right lesson. You learned the wrong lesson.
It's pretty rare for a character, even in a horror film, to get warnings this often and this explicit and still just go for it.
Yeah, it
I
just gets
mean-
rare for someone to go from one level of stupidity and then just escalates to a whole new level of stupidity, where even
Yeah.
the Native Americans and the Wendigo would have been just shaking their head like, dude,
Oh,
got this guy
right here.
Can you believe this guy?
he's coming back.
Fucking A.
But you know what?
I told you.
It's okay, because in the end, the truck drivers are redeemed. They drop off
Yeah.
Denise Crosby, and she's not even a little drugged or anything.
Well, and I guess because Fred Gwynn's character stays up on the porch and eventually falls asleep because he's waiting for him to come home so he could be like, I ought not to do that. But I'm thinking, like, you know where his set is buried. Just go. Just go and stop him. It's obviously taking him hours to dig a hole. Like, come on, man. But
Well,
no,
and
he
that's
waits
also more
around.
reason I won't say what happens, but that's even more reason you'll enjoy the book, because they actually go into the story of the guy that was brought back from the dead. And again, kind of like in the movie and the book It, or at least the first It, where the town is kind of knows about this shit, but nobody wants to talk about it. And,
In Derry, Maine. Nobody
yes.
talks about that. Nobody talks about that.
hate living.
Love you. Hate living.
Kinda wanna do gay stuff, but I don't know. See how
Spread
night
around.
goes.
Anything
No
goes
homo
down there.
though, Dad.
If it's own hand and not attached body, is it sex or masturbation? We find out.
People don't often know that there's actually a remake of this in the mid '90s with an all African American cast. It's called Beloved. Oprah was in it.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
And Ray Dong Chong, wasn't it?
And
Let's see.
fucking no it was the chick from The Truth About Charlie who was Thandie Newton.
Sandy Newton, that's
Yeah,
right. And I
and
want to
Danny
say
Glover.
it was Octavia Butler.
Is she in there?
Was it? Or no, Toni Morrison.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it had Danny Glover, so I mean.
Yeah, Toni Morrison, another person to
It's
go
my
to
kind of
real
Glover.
feel-good stories.
Yeah, true.
Speaking
So
of that,
Mhm.
were you gonna say something, Linda?
no. I
Okay.
think I
Well-
was gonna transition the way you're transitioning.
Yes. Speaking of glorious, beautiful stories.
Glory holes.
Wing, 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 wing. Well, I think I'll kick this turkey into a Native American cemetery
Please do.
thousands of years ago. Okay. The year is 2142. The EES Corporation has discovered and quarantined the infamous Pet Sematary and native burial ground. The site is now part of a large cloning facility led by Dr. Nicholas Gage. Cloning is the wave of the future, and
I
this
see what you
plant
did there.
does it all. Taking DNA samples of once living pets, splicing it with the toxins from the soil from the Native American burial ground, forming not only the perfect clone, but a clone with a soul.
What?
But things go too far as the project's director, Martin Richmond, decides to up the clone game and bring people back from the dead. His first clone is unwittingly taken DNA from Professor Dr. Nicholas Gage. Things soon become clear that not all is right with the stony earth of the cemetery, as these baby clones have been born with a twist of evil. Facing an army of cloned evil children, Nicholas Gage and his team must arm themselves and prepare for the fight of their lives. Starring Nicolas Cage as Nicholas Gage, Sean Penn as Martin Richmond, Steve Buscemi as janitor Jed Crandall, and William Dafoe as mercenary for hire Church. In the Michael Bay produced, Alejandro Jodorowsky directed Dark Side of the Cemetery, Pet Sematary 3.
It's 10 hours long, so they should put it to Netflix.
Yes.
And is Nicolas Cage naked the whole time since it's Jodorowsky?
Yes, he's actually wearing a doctor's lab coat, and he's naked the whole time, just freeballing it.
Did you know that Miko Hughes' acting career continued, and he went on to appear in the first Baby Geniuses as an adult?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he was on some show that I watched, but I'm trying to remember.
Nobody watches that show no more.
Well, as Linda tries to remember, I guess we'll go over to Adrian.
All right. Well, I'm going to correct the initial mistake, and I'm going to cast Bruce Campbell in the lead there as Lois. And I think recast the neighbor there, probably as Patrick McGee. For the wife, I'm gonna go with Tisa Farrow. And I think I'm gonna get a soundtrack by Claudio Simonetti. Probably a screenplay by Dardano Sacchetti. They shot in Maine for this. I think I would actually shoot in Athens, Georgia, and I would give the director's chair to none other than Lucio Fulci. There would be 75% less dialogue and 100% more awesomeness.
Yeah, all right. Why
and
not?
Pet Sematary would be spelled correctly.
It's your own language and you can't spell it right. Actually, it's Italian, do like the demons approach and call it pets. But then in our U.S. call it Pet Sematary.
The S could be an I, so it works in both languages. Yeah.
Yeah.
Demonia demons. Yeah.
PETZ.
Yeah, and Italian cats playing the cats. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, well, and I had to look it up. Gage was in an episode of Veronica Mars playing Stoner Dude #1. But I didn't finish.
That's Veronica Mars. If you're a dude, you're either a stoner or a rapist.
I mean, isn't that real life?
That was a decision
not all
Jack
dudes,
Black
Linda.
used to face in the early days.
Not all stoners. So anywho, sorry, I'm trying to tell Carla what I want for dinner. So anywho, my idea for the sequel is, and I actually put thought into it this time. I want Clancy Brown, of course, because I mean he's fucking Clancy Brown, and I want one certain Edward Furlong.
Oh wow! How'd you come up with this? Yeah.
I don't know. It was like inspiration. I don't know. The muse came to me.
I almost did this.
But in this one, I want them to be playing stepfather and son. He's not like the friend of the stepson. He's actually the stepson. And so anyway, his mother and the stepfather's wife passes away, right? And they move to this new house from Chicago, and Edward Furlong's character is like, I think Clancy Brown, because that's his character's name is Clancy Brown, playing Clancy Brown. He says, you really stepped up. And you're a really awesome hero of mine and a real idol. And is it okay if I call you Dad? And then he goes, Eddie Furlong, playing Eddie Furlong. You are a real man. I really respect you. You're a wonderful son. And are you okay with me calling you son? And they're like, I was wishing you'd ask. And then they hug and they embrace and everything's wonderful. And then undead Denise Crosby comes and kills them both. Because they're like, they see Denise Crosby out of the corner of their eye and they're like, oh fuck, she's oozing eye pus. And she's all like Lucio Fulci's zombie. Like, I want to make out with her. No, I want to make out with her. What's that?
That is an appropriate reaction to Denise Crosby being within your vision. Yes.
Yeah. He's like, I want to make out with her. Hold back, son. You're just a boy. You're 15 years old. I'm going to make out with her. And they fight over who's going to make out with her. And then she says, boys, she's all rotting and stuff by this time. Like, I can make out with you both.
They make her a finger trap?
Yes. They're like, what's the sound of fucking a jar of mayonnaise? Come find out. And so they're making out with her, and she's like, I've got a knife. And
surprise! It was a bad idea.
Pet Sematary 2 featuring a semen demon. All right.
Kevin Smith.
Featuring Denise Crosby as the semen.
I'm a semen demon.
Better keep me in the freezer. Who knows what'll happen?
Yes. Semen, Pet Sematary.
What are you trying to do?
Semen.
That shit, it expires.
Direct to video.
Yeah. From the producers of Witchcraft.
Eddie Furlong, what are you doing these days? Oh, he's on Cameo, right? We looked this up.
I'm just saying. In Terminator 3: Rise of the Machines, the character of John Connor is a hopeless junkie. Why didn't they cast Edward Furlong?
I mean,
who the fuck was that guy?
Allegedly.
I would rather have had seen him do that than have done that Uwe Boll movie he did.
Oh, that one where he's the semen demon.
No, the Attack on Wall Street one with what's his name there.
I just had to do a real quick Google search to find something when we came up with Semen Demon.
Oh no! Don't listeners, don't look up Semen.
Do you have a movie to order? Yeah.
I have a preview of a fake movie to show you both. I'm gonna do that after the podcast.
So fair enough.
Yeah.
Like and subscribe.
And hit that bell.
Yeah, I guess it's that time, isn't it?
Wait, what did we learn?
Don't bring your family back from the fucking dead.
Never go to Maine. That's what I learned.
Sometimes. Oh, actually, I did learn the lesson that he was supposed to learn. Besides, sometimes that is better.
Yeah, you only said it 3 times. Yeah.
Yeah, I could fix the whole movie with my lesson. My lesson came from right after they meet Fred Gwynne's character, Judd. Build a fucking fence.
Yeah.
Fucking fence.
Yeah.
Done.
Good fences make not undead kids.
Yeah, exactly.
We're gonna build a fence. That's gonna be the best fence ever.
Gonna make them pay for the fence.
Keep my neighbors out.
I'm
It's
so
not as if weather's
tired.
gonna put holes in the fence later and make this embarrassing.
I am so fucking tired of those goddamn trucks coming over to our lawn, taking our kids.
You're messing with my glory hole fence, you bastards.
Build a fence. Build a fence.
Oh,
And we're going to have the truckers build and pay for it. God
This
damn
is the
it.
one where we got canceled.
Yeah. This is the point where I
I
canceled
could add to that, but I'm actually holding back.
Oh, jeez.
Fuck. Hold
I'm
back
just gonna
the
keep
night.
drinking my laughing potion here. Please listen.
I should have cast
follow,
this as an episode of Murder, She Wrote.
rate,
Yeah.
and review us.
Just
Video
make it a
Drama
Golden
Podcast.
Girls Go to Pet Cemetery.
Hey, a great cast.
I would
They
do
should
it.
bury your vagina. It's been beaten enough. It'll come back new.
See, I think that we've waited long enough to bury them. So
We still have one alive.
and she's the one who has to do it because every man has to bury their own. So,
Rate and review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify or whatever.
On the Spotify.
Spotify.
please review, rate, listen, subscribe, all that stuff. To Videorama Podcast on Apple Podcasts because it helps other people find us, and it helps with a lot of stuff. And we'll love you. And wouldn't you like to be loved? We can name. We will thank you on air and stuff. It'll be really hot, and hasn't your whole life been a search for love and understanding? We're here for you.
Demon?
Also check out our Patreon at patreon.com/videoramapod. You can get lots of awesome stuff. I just finally released our theme song as a ringtone. We just had a special Halloween episode with tips and tricks on it's for trick or treat safety, that stuff, and how to survive a haunted doll attack. The general public will be receiving that.
Any evil doll. It doesn't necessarily have to have a ghost.
Yeah, but it also helps advertise our Tim Thomerson Protection Agency.
Yes, our Tiny Tims.
Yes.
Or man doll, if you will.
Roll to the window.
We love us some Tim Thomerson. So also, if you like the show, please spread the word. We can use all the love we can get. Remember, you can find us on Twitter, or you can visit our website if you go to videoramapod.com, or you could just go to cageskiss.com because those assholes are kind enough to let us share their website. We also share it with Bedknobs and Broomflicks. And they do something with licks in the rear end. I don't know. And yeah, so you could also write to us at videoramapod@gmail.com. And check out my other podcast about witches and history and stories of all media. Oh, that's Bedknobs and Broomflicks. Yes.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, she's got 2 podcasts. Look out, she's a witch.
I'm a witch. But also check me and Don out on the 2nd season of Four's a Crowd. I think Don's been pressuring us to help those assholes out on Cage's Kiss soon because they have new material. And while we're at it, that whole Nicolas Cage playing the Tiger King thing, it's not going to happen, as it turns out.
Yeah, I figured.
Amazon trashed the project, so.
Thanks, Amazon. Thanks so much. Thanks for everything.
Julie Newmar.
Remember when they used to have movies and not bullshit?
There was a time.
There was a time.
when Amazon Prime
Adrian,
had movie.
Adrian, where can the people find
Oh
you?
shit!
They can find me trashing fucking.
Let me drink some more wine, Adrian. Where the
Trashing
fuck are you?
Michaels?
I'm on damn DeviantArt already. Everybody knows where to find me. Fucking Leo the Fox on fucking DeviantArt. It's I make pictures. I make really fantasy, surreal type, macabre pictures, weird ass pictures with dudes in them.
He makes the good pictures.
Not
Sometimes
hentai are furries.
it was not anymore. I sometimes make the good pictures. Yeah, no, and I got I'm on Patreon if you want me to have money, and I'm not if you don't. And I'm on YouTube, and Donnie did something.
Yeah, I have relocated. I'm no longer at the Arby's, the dumpster behind said Arby's. I'm now moved over somewhere else because of reasons. But you can find me as Unreal Goals on the Twitter or YouTube, where I have my audio drama horror story production there, which you should check out. It's got a lot of views, surprisingly, and I really do mean surprisingly.
It's good.
And other than that, yeah, I will be joining Forza Crowd with my sister for a while. And aside that terrifying bit of knowledge, I also would like to throw my hat in for supporting Semen Demons the world over.
It's our next movie.
Yes.
Join us on patreon.com/videoramapod. Where
SDLM.
If
we'll
you
be-
support our Patreon, for every $1 you donate, we will send it to Denise Crosby to help keep the Semen Demon alive and well fed.
My lawyers would
I said too much.
My lawyers would like to say that Videoramapod has
dead,
not
Captain.
promised this. How about we could give her a quarter for every... No, fuck that. I'm greedy. Let's give her 10 cents on the dollar.
You were going to say 5 cents. You were going to sell her 5 cents. Our precious Semen Demon. 5 cents instead of 10 because she's not worth it in your eyes.
I mean, can't you just send her your semen?
He was helming you, Lieutenant Yar.
Save
Our
all your
attorney
love for
would
me.
also like me to let you know not to send your semen to Denise Crosby.
Please don't.
Yeah, she'll just get a rigid envelope. It won't make it there the way you intended.
Yeah. Like,
She'll be like, what's
this?
this shit? You know, is this cardstock? I don't know. It's got bubbles.
It's the
I
Q
know the
virus.
smell.
Oh, so God, where the fuck to go from there?
So next week.
Next week we'll be having a guest, a very
We're
special
gonna learn all
guest,
kinds of wrong lessons next week.
Yeah.
and it'll be Thanksgiving for cats.
This has been a month of wrong lessons.
And once again, that's all we are, wrong lessons.
Yeah.
But until then, death to Videorama. Long live the new flesh. Donnie shot a kid.
Every time I masturbate, I quote this film and scream out loud, "You killer of children!" It
really?
gets me
When I
there.
finish up, I just say no.
God help me. God help me.